Walatu, Walasa, Yadi, I want so. Ayua, yeah, yeah. Mirisu, mi wona, mirisu, mi kura. Mambo, Yadi, I want so. Ayua, yeah. Mirisu, mi wona, mirisu, mi kura. Walatu, Walasa, Yadi, I want so. Ni papa,
My name is Edmond Akwe, your host for Walatu, Walasa. Today we have in our studios our distinguished guest once again, and on my immediate right is Mr. J.N.O. Ankra. Mr. Ankra, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Very well. Mr. Ankra is a distinguished civil servant with many years of dedicated service to the civil service. He was the former director for the Department of Social Welfare and currently serves as the Director for Finance and Budget at Clocksack. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Then on my far right is Mr. Eugene Qualite. Mr. Eugene, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Eugene Qualite is also an astute civil servant with more than 3 decades of service to the country. He began his career in the civil service as an assistant labor inspector at the Labor Department in 1987 and rose through the ranks to become the chief labor officer until his retirement in 2022. Mr. Eugene Qualite, you are welcome once again to Walatu, Walasa.
Thank you.
It is always good to have you gentlemen being here with us. In our last episode, you schooled us through the pre-colonial times of labor movements and post-colonial times of labor movements. Today, we are continuing our historical background of labor movements in Ghana, and we are looking at labor unions under military regimes. So we'll pick it up from 1969. This was, I think, the Second Republic.
1969?
1969, the Second Republic. And that the PP, the Progressive Party. Yes.
But that's not a military regime.
Yeah, it's not a military regime, but I want us to pick it from there before we delve into the more of a military regime coming down to the 80s.
Okay.
So now, the PP, Progressive Party, was led by Buzia. And there are a lot happens to labor movements around then. I want you, Mr. Qualite, let me start with you to give us a brief of what really happened during this Second Republic.
Okay. Thank you, and good afternoon once more to your cherished listeners and viewers. Before the coming into play of the PP regime, we had the National Liberation Council, led by Kutuka and then the rest. So
that's a military regime then.
Yeah, that's a military regime, and they handed over to the PP, government
after a successive election.
Yeah, that was successful elections, and there was that sharp contrast between the PP and then the TUC or labor movement. Let me put it, labor movement, because of ideological differences. Yeah. So the PP government at a point even create some sort of antagonistic situation in the labor drive at the moment. So some leaders were removed from their posts. Again, we realized that the TUC and then the PP regime could not collaborate very well, especially due to the relationship that existed with the CPP, because they also come in as an opposition party, could not meet in terms of the ideology that they have. So some were sacked. In fact, in that regime, critically, the people didn't see well with the union
At the time.
existence at the time. In fact, some of the local unions were asked to reapply.
Oh, I see.
Yes, they were asked to reapply
To get recognition
to
within
get recognition as a union.
as a union.
In fact, it was at that verge of reapplication. I think about 4 months or so after the requirement of reapplication that the military regime, which ushered in the National Liberation Council,
Redemption Council.
National Redemption
That was
Council.
in 1972.
Yeah, 72, a Champions regime.
Very well.
That brought in the Champion regime, which saw some massive changes in the union movement. They had that cordiality with the Champions regime. Things were changed, wages were...
So if I may come in, it means that the PP, the Progressive Party, or the Second Republic did not really gel very well with labor unions. They were opposing ideas then. They did not really understand. Mr. Ankara, can you please put your... Yeah.
Like, if you want to put it in perspective, like it's a further elaboration.
Okay.
The CPP, in the struggle for independence, the Ghana Trade Union Congress, or the Go-Go's Trade Union Congress, or let's talk about TUC now,
Now,
were part of the CPP in the struggle for independence. So when the 1966 coup came in, and then Buzia came, Dr. K. Buzia
Buzia, yeah.
came in.
He was
as
the prime minister then.
prime minister at that time. He virtually disbanded the TUC.
Yeah.
And ensure that the check-off system where the dues are paid from workers and other activities were stopped.
Were cancelled.
In actual fact, it is around the same time that I think in 1967 or so, the same Buzia regime ensured that the civil servants are not
Part of the...
automatically made members of the TUC, because all workers at that time belonged to the TUC.
TUC.
The Civil Servant Association belonged to the
TUC.
TUC because of the 1960 Act, Civil Service Act of 1960. But then when it came in, the act was
amended
so that civil servants were not automatically members of the TUC. No, I remember this until 1972?
Yeah, 1972. Council.
Yes, when the
Champions regime.
The Achampon
regime came,
yeah.
that they restored the TUC, the check-off system and all those things.
Looking at what happened during the Second Republic, can one conclude that then it means that trade unions really struggled within the Second Republic because if they were not having cordial relationship with the governments, then there's a number of activities.
The TUC was virtually dismembered. Like you said, some of its members were even jailed.
Yeah, from primary sources, some of them were jailed, their offices were ransacked.
Yes, and all during the time.
Those were difficult times for labor movements then.
Yes, it was.
Very well. But what was it so? What was the ideology of the Second Republic or the Buzia government that they had to, for me, it's some kind of ridiculing of labor movements at the time.
You see, the labor
Was it? Can we say it's because of the fact that the main trade union had joined the CPP in, was it must it be a
it's not-
conflict like that?
It's not joined. It's not okay. I don't know.
No,
Whether,
you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
It's not joined the CPP, but the atrocities that were meted out to workers at the time before independence created that scenario. Here comes Nkrumah fighting for self-government.
Okay.
And here comes the union also fighting for the well-being
Of
of
the
its
workers.
members.
Okay.
So they have a common goal. So automatically they join forces.
they became allies.
It was just natural for that to happen.
Yes, that's what that was to happen.
Very well.
So they join forces to, or like Mr. Ankara put it, allies to fight a common goal.
And they succeeded.
And they succeeded. So, and the succession actually created opportunities for the union. First, in terms of its existence as a union, critically.
Very well.
And, I did a course where they said that shelter provides an identity. So it was, at that time, the TUC was identified by a shelter. That
Very
this
well.
is the TUC, and these are the affiliates. And if you're a worker, if you want to have your social rights, economic rights, this is where you have to go for those rights to
Those
be
rights to be-
yes.
to be addressed.
So, yeah, to be addressed. So that has existed. And the ideological difference.
Yeah.
CPP is coming from a different angle. The PP is also coming from a different angle. So when the PP also assume power, automatically they are not on the same wavelength with the CPP.
With the CPP.
It's an issue of socialism.
Yes, socialism, vis-a-vis capitalism.
Yes.
So the ideological differences actually started from
clashing.
that. Yes,
So there was
so
a
they
clash.
clashed. And the TUC has also lived years with the CPP. So automatically, if I want to change my ideology, you will not see eye to eye with me.
Yeah.
So that was what actually happened.
Very well.
And I think that we had also not understood unionism at that time. Because for freedom, you need to have your freedom. And you know where all these things are emanating from? From the ILO and other things.
International pressure.
Because we had employers who were very recalcitrant and who were not willing to let go the freedom of their worker.
Of the worker. The oppression was there.
So the pressure was there. So automatically you will not have it so easy.
Here comes Buzia, who had, come into government as a prime minister.
Yes.
Having a lot to do after independence. That particular government was also not gelling very well with CPP. So there was some kind of confrontation. I understand that. Yeah. So now in 1971, the Buzia government was overthrown by Achampon. In 1972, Achampon gained power as a military ruler. What was the situation for labor unions, Mr. Ankara, please?
First, it restored the TUC. It restored because under Nkrumah, the trade union gains a lot of grounds. In terms of their welfare
and all.
And other things. For example, if you look at 1972, Supreme Military Council, for example, there was this issue about you cannot even dismiss a worker without the permission of the Labour Department.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes,
that's
particular,
good.
You can't.
That's good.
Yeah.
So at that point, workers' rights were being upheld.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's some of them, not everything.
Not everything. Yeah.
And when there is school, the school leaders will also want to gain some footing.
Yeah.
So they will also do a few things to get
support
support.
from
It's one of those things.
they touched on labor. So the relationship between that Champon regime, military regime, and labor was quite cordial because primary sources also says that they were able to reinstate certain workers who were sacked because of demonstrations. And Mr. Qualite, can you throw more light on that?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you know, some workers were sacked because you see, whilst those actions were being meted out to them, the union also have a way to restore its existence, and that is through strikes.
Yeah.
So, and through strike, I think some of them died, especially these mine workers. They lost some of their members, and some were also sacked. I think the coming in of the National Redemption Council brought the reinstitution of these things that happened during the PPE regime, like Mr. Ankara put it. So they were reinstated. Some of the workers who were sacked were reinstated during the regime. And I think the National Redemption Council came with a more vibrant policies that also brought the existence of the union into the limelight. Yes. One of that is this Ghana, the GPRTU.
Ghana,
in fact, they recognized them as
the transport
sector.
Yeah.
So there was this high purchase arrangement
that was
with the Ghana Private Road Transport Union.
Very well.
And they could procure buses which went to further the cost of even workers. And then the union, that what they existed. And in fact, they also look at the SNIT at that time. I think the SNIT came into being around that time.
Yeah, social security benefits.
Yes. So they look at that also, how to position the SNIT in terms of when you retire, what do you get and those things. But I think we've not done much about the SNIT, because we should have looked at the SNIT further to upgrade that system. Because when you compare the SNIT with the CAP 30,
Yes.
calculate those things with the formulas, the difference happened to be very small. But what affected the SNIT is the scale down of the 12-year factor. Yeah, because if that was to be looked at critically, I'm of the opinion that the Senate could have also resolved a lot of issues, especially for the retired staff. Then the coming of the tier 2, tier 3 will also go to enhance.
So these are recent times, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll come to that.
We'll come to that.
We'll come to that.
Mr.
Yes.
Ankara,
Okay.
If I may ask, would you say that a worker around that time, during the National Redemption Council, or otherwise the Supreme Military Council era, workers would be smiling a little bit?
And before Mr. Ankara comes in,
before
Mr. Ankara comes in, you see, they were looking at the whole embodiment of the labor at that
itself,
time, like you put it. Wages. You know, the union has been critical about wages of its members. So they look at wages, and I think the minimum wage actually saw some enhancement, major enhancement during that regime. I think Mr. Ankara can take it up from
Very well, sir.
Yeah. Yes, like I said, in terms of the minimum wage, the Achampon regime did
very well.
lot.
Wow.
And see, I think it was around that time people started, is it 10,000 cities or something? Or 1,000? Old. Yes, around that time.
That's amazing. So looking at the characteristics of how labor unions movement went on around the time of 1972, the Achampon time, you realize that labor had a little bit of freedom. They were able to go about their duties with some kind of smiles, because you've elaborated a number of goodies that came to them: increase in wages, social security benefits, the abolition of certain levies and all that. All these were into play.
And we could also talk about, for example, in 1978, there was this ILO convention was. Is it 151?
Which one? The other convention.
151. Collective bargaining for
The
public
collective.
service workers.
Workers at that time.
You know, and I remember around that time, the civil servants, for example, were agitating that because they had no bargaining
Certificate.
Just
certificate
to
or the
negotiate.
right to bargain.
Okay.
So when that convention was passed, the Civil Servant Association, led by their leaders, went on strike
Yes, in
around 1978.
1978. That is peculiar to civil servants. Not all trade, or not all labor
That
unions.
particular one
was for civil servants.
is for public service.
Public service.
institutions.
Public service.
And at the time, all public services were civil servants. Could we say?
No,
No.
all of them were not public.
They were not
civil
public.
servants.
Okay.
They were-
But there's no law giving them the right to negotiate.
To
with
negotiate under that convention.
Very well.
with their employers.
Understandable.
It was when that convention,
Came.
ILO came, then civil servants agitated in 1978, and they were sacked. All of them. So they said they should go and reapply. They were even supposed to go to the Accra Sports Stadium and reapply.
This was still under the champion.
78?
Yes, 78.
No,
Yeah, 78. Yeah, we had the 78.
it wasn't a champion. I think it was Afrifa.
There was a little bit of a champion Africa around.
Yes. The SMC, do you know?
No, SMC.
SMC.
SMC, Kufu, we have the SMC 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yes.
So it was during the time of the SMC, the first one.
SMC.
That this particular incident happened.
That Afrifa incident, or
No,
the
it was,
SMC,
the SMC 1 and 2
1
is
and
the
2.
Kufu. A Kufu and then a Champon.
a champion, yes, SMC. That was when because of the agitation, they were sacked.
Very well.
And they were to go to the Accra Sports Stadium for
Reapplication.
reapplication. And it was during when Rollins made his coup
Okay.
in 1979
79
that all those people were asked to come back
to work.
without
With the reapplication.
reapplying.
Okay. So we can say that the military regimes have been blowing hot and cold.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, because at one point in time they were good, at one point in time they were bad. Now, you brought us a little bit forward to the 1979, which is very, very good. During that time, the primary sources also said that some, trade unions decided to form a political party, the Social Democratic Front.
Yes.
Yeah.
What instigated that, or what made them have the courage?
Well, because they have the right to organize.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
if you go to Britain, there was the Labour Party. I think they were taking a cue
From then,
from
the
there.
Labour Party then.
Yes. And so they organized the Social Democratic Front.
Front,
Yes.
SDF.
And then it was led by Dr. Bannerman,
Yes.
yes, at that time.
At that time.
And
That's
they
amazing.
contested the elections. And I think they won about 3 or 4
Oh, three seats,
I think
3 seats out of
3
120 seats
Out
that
of
they
120.
presented. But I thought around that time, the way Labour was struggling and the way the whole euphoria was with Labour, they should have won more seats. Something went wrong then.
Well,
Nobody knows.
No, not that something went wrong. It's a novelty. It's a novelty.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And it's not only restricted to only workers.
Very well.
It's for the general public.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And it's also related to the existing political parties at the time.
yeah.
Because critically, we have the CPP also there, and then the PP also there. So these two happen to be the
The
major.
PNC, the PNC was also
It was there, but no. But these are the major political parties,
okay.
which existed at that time. So, like the SDF coming in is a novelty for workers to say that we will form a political party. But I think other legislations and then operations did not allow for the political parties formation from the union front. They didn't allow that. Because if they have allowed that subsequently, I think it would have established itself, and then the workers would have also recognized that also as being their mouthpiece.
Very well. Mr. Akai, do you want to add something to it before we go on our first break?
No, I was going to say that like I said, it was a novelty, and they didn't have the grounding, if I can use that word. In Ghana, there are two, when it comes to politics, CPP tradition, and then the Buzia transition. So, and they are well established. You know, so it will take time for
another party
to
come in. So the
it's even happening now.
Yeah. So the SDF, the Social Democratic Front, was like a drop in an ocean at the time, as compared to these two major political parties. Yeah. Very well. So
and I think before we leave that, you know, the National Redemption Council actually look at the enterprises. In fact, with the collapse of enterprises then,
yes,
they came to revive a lot of enterprises. Yes, state enterprises. Yeah. And that actually helped the union activity, because with the job creation actually came, and then the workers also have members. The union have members.
Grew
at that time.
So we'll go for a break, and when we come back, we'll look at labor movements from the 80s down to the Fourth Republic, 1993.
Walatu, Walasa, Yadi, I want some.
Welcome back, viewers, and this is your Labor Digest program, Walatu, Walasa. We still have in our studio our able gentlemen who are schooling us through the history of labor unions during the military regimes in Ghana. Gentlemen, most grateful. We continue. Now, let's look at from 1979 down the lane to the 80s, okay? Something really happened. There was a coup d'etat. The AFRC took over. And the AFRC was led by, Jerry John Rawlings, handed power to PNC, that is Ila Liman. Labour, how did Labour, take this particular movement as? Was the struggle still on? Was it difficult times as well?
You see,
because now you can see the dynamics that is happening, changes of military, different types of military takeovers and leadership.
AFRC, PNDC time. That was when workers' different committees were formed.
Very well.
And that was the time they also worried that workers' difference committees also worried unions.
Yes.
I see.
There were takeovers. And in Tema, they formed a small group that attacked from Tema.
Was it of the Defense Council or the Association of Local Unions?
The Association of
Local Unions.
Local unions, when they are coming, they come in the...
they come in different forms.
Yeah.
They didn't call themselves WDCs.
Yeah.
But they came and they virtually overthrew the the TUC.
The TUC. Wow.
Now, if you talk about Civil Servant Association, for example,
Thank you.
there was a congress at Univa, and the WDC, there was a central workers' defense committee. You know, there were local workers' defense committees for each of for departments
and
in the
agencies.
civil service.
Okay.
But there's an umbrella body, the Central Workers' Defense Committee, or whatever they call it. I've forgotten. And I'm not sure whether I'm calling the correct name.
Very well, but we would pick it.
Civil Servant Association went to Congress in Winnipeg.
Okay.
And the WDC took over.
As well.
Yes.
So now TUC has been toppled by a certain group of people. Civil Servants Association has also been toppled. That was around the 1979, 80s, early 80s, thereabouts.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just around that time.
That would be difficult times for labor unions, because
Yes,
I believe
yes,
these were
yes.
major unions that were existing
Yes.
that, you know,
AFRC, PNDC
era.
You know, and lest I forget, it was even Rawlings' era
Very well.
that, based on Convention 151,
Okay.
which was what do we call it? ILO came out,
ILO convention. Mhm.
you know, that the PNDC established PNDC Law 309 to give collective bargaining
Certificates.
rights
Okay.
to public service institutions.
Okay. So that was a great move. Then.
And that was
Labor, I'm sure
when-
Labor would really receive this with big arms.
well, labor, but seriously, is the civil service,
That
civil
was-
servant association in
that got
particular.
it.
You know, that was the time, because when the 67 Act was made to amend the Civil Service
Service,
1960, there was no negotiating committee
At all.
No.
for the civil service or even the
Other
public
service,
service
the public
institutions.
service.
And like I said, the leaders of the Civil Servant Association struggled because of a bargaining,
Rights
collective
that
bargaining
they don't
right.
have.
And they were asked to go and line up at
The stadium
the stadium.
for reapplication to be
And it
employed.
was when Rawlings came that
He
he restored it.
restored them
Rawlings regime went ahead to
to provide the collective bargaining rights.
under 309,
309.
PNDC law 309.
That's quite
You see,
interesting.
and if you are talking about the difficulties of the union, you know, Rawlings also came with a policy direction which also couldn't help the unions at that time, because state-owned enterprises were privatized. You see, and immediately they privatized
In the 80s, right?
Yes,
Yes.
when they privatized the state-owned enterprises, you know, membership drive for the union.
Would fall.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Actually came down drastically.
I'm sure it has to do with the IMF policies.
Yes,
Yes.
because the policy direction.
Now you are in military regime, you are being directed by a big brother somewhere.
Yeah,
that do this, do that.
Yes.
So that would weaken the labor unions.
So it will weaken, actually, because they lost their members. And the TEC, for instance, lost a greater number
Chunk
of
of
yes.
people.
And once you, because unionism is based on numbers. So it weakened the front of trade union practice in
Yeah, because of
in the country.
These IMF policies, too, there was the redeployment
Redeployment.
in the civil service. But then the Civil Service Association managed to turn it into what they call a redeployment program
Redeployment program.
to minimize the effect of the, what do we call it? The effect of just taking people out of the
Employment.
system. And the program they came with, there was this issue of first come, last to go
Yeah.
In the system.
in the system. But then what was done at that time was to ensure that people voluntarily came out
That were ready to exit.
who were ready to leave the
Leave,
system.
Yes.
Voluntarily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they look at the
voluntarily.
package and they thought that.
And what they did was that the program will train you in whichever area you want to. Hairdressing, tailoring, mechanic, whatever.
Was it a structural adjustment program?
It's also part of
Before
it.
the
The structural adjustment program.
structural, but then it's an IMF,
IMF, yes.
World Bank program.
So we can say that it's even part of it.
And then when they train you, they give you equipment,
For you to go and set up.
you set up, and even pay you your redeployment package.
Redeployment package.
One of the issues about that redeployment program is that whilst you are being trained, they don't take you off the payroll. They paid you until you
Finish the training.
with your training, your apprenticeship,
Your apprenticeship.
and then you've been given your equipment and
And to go and establish yourself somewhere.
to go and
So now you are on your own.
You are on your own.
Yeah, you no more belong to a union. Because you are not in the
Yes,
mainstream
yeah, you are
workforce.
not in the system again. So that's the
That's
Yes.
fine.
So-
That's
so-
fine.
redeployment program.
Yeah, so it created a lot of informalization. So you see, informalization became the order of the day. And immediately we have a high level of informalization. Union practice becomes
Very difficult.
Very difficult, yes.
Dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous
Dangerous as well.
because it's informal. So how do you? And at that time, even the unionism as itself, education and what goes into unionism was also not known much to. Yeah, because they were looking at people who could make noise,
Okay.
but not people
Who could articulate their
articulate
issues.
their issues.
Then
Yeah,
go and face government very
Exactly,
well, you know.
exactly. So when we come to the current dispensation, I think we'll be talking about
Some of these
education.
challenges,
Yes,
yeah,
education
that
being
we have.
very high in the union platform, and how union has been assisting government and other.
At this time, talking about these IMF programs and World Bank interventions during the military era of the PNDC and under Jerry John Rawlings, it means that labor unions had then been weakened.
Yes, they weakened. It weakened labor movements. Completely weakened.
They then-
So at that time, and it's also a military government.
Yeah. So you can't say much.
You can't say
You
much.
can't demand much.
We can't demand much. But I think the union was resolute. In spite of that, people were ready to lay down their lives for
the sustainability of the unions that have been
They were
existing
very
since
resolute in their
pre-colonial
demands,
time.
and Rawlings actually saw wisdom in that. So when we come to the next stage, you see how changes, laws, and other things came into play, and how partners were recognized as major players in the industrial relation arena.
In that of why I can even tell you that there were more strikes during the time of
The regime, that regime.
PNDC
Regime.
military than any other
That regime.
Yes.
Because now we can say that the unions or the trade unions had then seen a number of faces, struggles. So now they were being resilient and more forceful in fighting for their rights, even though we were that military regime then.
Yeah.
Well, so Mr. Anka, how would you conclude that aspect of the 1980s to the early 90s before the Fourth Republic?
No, it was a misgreed. You can talk it. There are issues that came up to strengthen trade unionism and others to that push people away, like we said, redeployment programs and all those things.
Yeah.
But then the issue of sitting down with the employer to even discuss the issue of not just send people out, but to put a human face to
it.
it is also there.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so we can also say that some of the actions that labor unions took around that time were mass protests and demonstrations, strike actions.
Yes, to demand, what do we call it? Certain rights.
Certain rights.
Yes.
Well, would you say
It was not being done in a vacuum. It's to fight for a right. You know, when we started, we said that all the rights that are being enjoyed now by workers did all come on a silver platter. Those who were maimed during the strikes. Okay. Those who were sacked were sacked. And still sacrifices
were being made.
Yeah, people still continue. You can't sack everyone.
Mr. Quality, you want to add up?
Yeah, yes. Because you see, at that time, the union, in fact, the union did very well. Workers were sacked, like Mr. Ankara is saying. Even the retrenchment, when you are retrenched, you go home without money. You are sent home without anything. But I think the union actually helped that ground. That when you are retrenched, you need to have the benefit. And so the formula for calculating end
of year
benefit, formula for calculating retrenchment benefit and all those things, parties saw that they have to sit down to come out with the modalities. So modalities started coming in. So during Ronald's era, the retrenchment and all those things, I think they've established a formula that whoever is retrenched will have to go through that formula to get
at least
the
package.
Yes,
some compensation.
Compensation for that, which hitherto was not the norm.
Very well. We'll go for a break, and when we come back, we'll look at the almighty Fourth Republic. Labor movements in the Fourth Republic from 1993 to date. We'll be right back.
Walatu, Walasa, Yadi, I want some. Mirisu mi wonwu na mirisu mi kura. Mambo, Yadi, I want some. Mirisu mi wonwu na mirisu mi kura. Walatu, Walasa, Yadi, I want some. Ni baba.
Welcome back to Walatu, Walasa, your Labor Digest program on Clock TV. We are still in the studio, and we have our able gentlemen taking us through the history of labor unions in military regimes in Ghana. We've come this far, and now we've entered into the almighty Fourth Republic, our current situation now. A major or otherwise major events or movements did happen during this time after we came back into democratic rule in 1992. Mr. Ankara, if I may ask you, how did the return to democratic rule in the 90s, 1993, Fourth Republic, affect labor movements in Ghana?
See,
was labor happy about the Fourth Republic because they've been under military regimes?
It depends on where you are standing.
Yeah, okay.
So, I see there are certain changes in the law. For example, the Industrial Relations Act, the last one, what year was that?
299, 1960.
299.
1967.
And other labor laws
were
consolidated under Act 651 of 2003. One major thing that happened was that there were ILO queries about freedom of association.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because in that law, you cannot register as in the 299.
Okay, the industrial relations in 299, you can't register.
You cannot be registered as a trade union without going through TUC.
The TUC, the trade union.
So that's in the old law.
That was the situation.
Yes, that was the situation.
And it was making union formation to be difficult.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and there's supposed to be only one Is it
Center.
Labour Front.
Labour Center.
Labour Center?
That's the TUC.
The TUC.
Yes.
You were the only one there.
Which ILO conventions was not,
No, not recognizing
No, it's
that.
not the convention.
It's not a convention.
It is our constitution.
The
Okay.
constitution,
The 1992
but the ILO
constitution.
convention is also,
It's also
on that.
there.
It's on,
The
okay.
convention
Very well.
87.
So,
You know,
The ILO convention 87.
so let Mr. Anka finish.
Okay.
No,
You talk.
I'm saying that they refer to our own constitution.
That
That under your constitution, you're talking about freedom of association. But there's this clause in your labor
Which
law
is limiting the freedom.
limiting the freedom of association.
Yes.
uh-huh.
You know.
So now open it up.
Yes. So we had what we call labor advisory committee around that
It
time.
was
I remember.
formed
Under
the
the
Labour
299.
Advisory.
Yes.
You know, they as well advised the minister on labor
Labor
issues.
issues, all labor issues.
They took it up. So there was a consolidation of various labor laws,
Okay.
you know, and then which was put together to form the Act 651 or 203,
Yeah.
you know. And I said one of the major things is about the
Change that happened.
of union passing
Through
through.
TUC
If you
for
want to form a
registration.
union, you have to pass through the TUC. Anything is Ghana TUC. It looks as if that thing has even stayed. Presently,
They are still holding
they are
to.
still
They are still
gravitating
holding,
to the TUC when it comes to union.
Unions, okay.
People are not realizing that there's a new law,
There's a new law.
you know, which freedom of association really is indicated. Because in the labor law, they are saying that two or more people
Can form
come together under the same establishment
can form
to
a
form
union
a
there.
union.
That makes it simple.
You know,
But they ask for you to have the courage to go and approach your
how
your
you
employer.
handle
Because we know certain workers have done that and they've been intimidated or even sacked from their workplace. So that was what happened.
I'm happy Mr. Anka has teased this out.
Okay, Mr. Quality.
You see, we need to have a clear understanding of what is a union and what is a confederation
Very well.
or federation.
Very well.
You see,
They are two different.
There are two. So the unions, you form your union, and if you want to affiliate to
A federation.
a federation, you apply for that. That federation is not a union.
That is
The
what.
federation is a collection of these unions.
unions.
Of
Yes.
unions.
So TUC is a federation. If
Yes,
we say,
it's
yeah.
a federation.
Very well.
Yes,
But drawing the PNDC era, otherwise,
those things were not. So the restriction, like Mr. Anka put it, the restriction. We have our constitution, which recognizes freedom of association.
very well.
Ghana has also signed to the ILO Convention 87,
Yeah.
which also talks about freedom of association. Now, when we come to the practice, are we practicing it in Ghana? If you still restrict people that they should go to TUC before the union,
Before
go
they are
to-
recognized or registered.
they say, for certificate to bargain.
No, it means there's a barrier.
There's a barrier.
Yes.
So that freedom is not being enjoyed
Okay.
in Ghana.
Okay. So with the coming in of the Labour Act,
So like he put it, the National Advisory Committee on
Okay,
Labour, that is the addressing board for government and the Minister for Employment. So every issue related to employment, they have to come out with those things. And no wonder you see that when we come to the Labour Act that he mentioned,
yeah,
you see the existence of the tripartite committee
In there.
there because of the practice.
for the
that
sake
is-
of my viewers, education, tripartite. Can you please explain what it means?
Okay, the tripartite
You-
is
it's
three.
it's a key technical word. So I want you to.
Okay, the
explain to-
tripartite body is a three body
Okay.
that come together to discuss the employment and unemployment of workers in a country.
in the country.
We have government
Very well.
playing a major role. So that is the first partner.
Okay.
Then we have employers also engaging the workers.
Okay.
That is the second partner. And then we have the unions.
Okay.
Because you cannot have an establishment without the labor force.
Very well.
Yes, because the workers drive everything of the organization.
Very well.
And one of the human practitioners,
Human
I
rights.
don't know whether it's Mayor or what should I forget? Owen.
Owen.
He referred to labor as the vital machines.
Very well.
Yes, the vital machine, because you can have all the expensive machines. If
Yet
labor is
it's
not
not there.
part of that embodiment, setup, it's
Nothing goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
Very well.
Yes.
So, Mr. Ankara, you were giving us a very important information. So, TUC now, the new law banned, made trade unions to be polarized, right? Trade unions became
Trade union
polarization.
pluralism.
Came.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we have the
Who's
Federation of Labor.
Yeah.
We have now Clocksack also having an entity. So now we can even talk about three.
Okay. Currently, what I know is that there are three federations.
The federation, yes.
Okay, so we have the
TUC,
Federation,
the Federation,
Ghana Federation for Labor,
Ghana Federation of
and
Labor,
the Forum.
and the Forum.
That is also
the
a
Forum.
federation
That's
that public sector,
the Forum. Yes.
Public sector. So now let's look at a very important movement that happened. That is breakaways. There were a number of breakaways from the TUC, from the teacher unions, from ICU, and the rest. Can you please walk us through these breakaways? I know it was motivated by the fact that now we are in a democratic rule and workers or unions, this can now go about their activities with.
Yeah, it still has to do with the new law,
Okay.
which says that two or more people in an establishment can form a union. In the same way, two or more unions can form a federation. And there's also room for what they call a confederation.
Confederation, yes.
Okay.
You know, where federations want to come together, they form a confederation. And under this new law, they're talking about organized labor.
Okay.
What is organized labor?
These are serious matters.
The definition for organized labor is not very clear.
It's not clear in the
Yes, not
It's
very
in the law.
in the act.
in
Okay.
the act, and
We have made it so.
it's rather creating more problems. For example, you go to negotiation for the public sector.
Okay.
I'm going into dangerous waters.
Dangerous water. So feel free, sir. We are educating our viewers.
Groups who have no bargaining certificate come and sit together with those who have bargaining certificates.
How is that possible?
Well, the government,
Who's watching the gates?
through the, what do we call it?
Employment.
No,
Which one?
your engineers outfit. What do you call it?
Oh, okay. I understand.
Where they invite all sorts of groups to come for negotiations.
Okay, you're talking about a tripartite when we are going
Not
for
tripartite.
negotiations.
I'm talking about this organization that was here that moved
Fair wages.
fair wages,
Fair wages.
Fair wages, yeah.
where they invite, because it is the duty by the law of the union, if there are more than one union in an establishment, for the majority union,
To have the
if they
bargaining,
wish to invite
the rest
the
along.
minority union along.
So it means that the majority union would have the bargaining certificate.
They
Mr.
have
Polite,
the
you
bargaining
have been the chief
certificate.
labor officer before. Can you please explain
Yeah, the
how
majority.
that one takes us?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Multiplicity of unions can operate under the shelter of the employer. But the law requires that one of these unions should be the majority in terms of numbers to process the bargaining certificate. In the same vein, the majority union is under the obligation of the law to invite the minority union or unions to accompany it to negotiate for everything that concerns the worker.
Establishment.
Yeah, the establishment. And I think why the lawmakers have it so is that we can have small unions. Granted that we have 10 members, some can be 8, some can be 5, some can be 2.
Yeah.
If you don't involve these smaller ones, how would you know the needs of these
all of
ones?
them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So automatically, you have to invite them to the discussion.
Okay.
But it is always the majority union that leads the discussion.
Okay.
So if the minority union wants something to share, he shares with the majority union.
Don't you think they might have held a meeting before coming into the meeting?
You hold your meetings with whoever is there. You hold meetings, and if the minority union thinks that you have to whisper something to the ears of the majority union, you quick draw the majority union's attention. So in that collaborative effort, we come together to agree on these things. I don't see why this should pose a big challenge to the.
But Mr. Anka sees this as a challenge.
What I'm trying to say is that it's not the business of fair wages to invite the minority union
as part of the meeting that is going to take place.
The meeting.
They invite
the majority.
Majority.
Yeah.
And for now, fair wages would have taken the list from Labour Department. Even on their salary payroll, they will know which unions are the majority. And which unions
and I think that one is also important. Yeah, because the fair wages happen to be a major player.
Yeah.
They will be coordinating the discussions and everything.
Yeah.
So if they have the list of the workers, the unions, I think it can help.
Very well.
And where that is also lacking, they can also draw the attention of the majority union that, we are aware that you have other smaller unions. And how has been the relationship? Yes. So that one doesn't take anything out of.
But we are diverting a little bit. But I think it's quite important. Don't you think the Labour Department also has the mandate to also let unions know that?
Yeah,
this is your mother union.
Yes, they're right.
Or otherwise, this is your
the Labour Department
that will lead negotiations. Yeah. And for that matter, anything you have, just pass it through them, and they will be the mouthpiece for you. So that going to a negotiation, there will not be plenty numbers that will choke the negotiation room.
Thank you. I think the Labour Department does that.
Okay.
Yes, because it's the department that identifies who is the majority union and who is the minority union in any particular setup.
Very well.
And I requires that they work as partners, especially the Labour Department, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and the unions.
Okay.
Yeah, so it behoves the parties to know that if we are going for negotiation, this is the majority union that we are going to hold negotiation with. Yeah. And they have splinter or smaller unions that will accompany them to that. I think
because of freedom of association, there are a number of unions sprinkling up.
Yes,
and
now we even have enterprise-based unions.
Go along with enterprise-based.
Yes.
So, Mr. Anka, would you want to end up by saying something about what it's supposed to be?
I'll still repeat. All the rights that are being enjoyed by workers were not had on a silver platter.
No.
The word that has been used all along till now is struggle.
Yes, struggle has stand out.
Struggle for all these rights. So that where workers have certain rights and For example, sometimes you go to negotiations and maybe workers don't get what
What they want.
they want. They will think that, oh, you went and then your employer just gave you something.
That's the accusation.
Yes, it's an interesting statement, but it's part of it. You know, you don't get one CD from your employer without negotiating for it. You know, that is the issue. But then there's room for improvement if we continue the struggle which was started years back.
Yeah.
You know, we'll continue one by one to be able to get certain rights fulfilled and even put into a law
A law.
to enable us to engage employers and negotiate for economic and
social rights as workers. Mr. Qualite, I want to hear from you. What do you think the situation should be?
Okay. What do I see the situation? What do I want?
How do you see, or how do you think the situation should be?
Oh, okay. One, you know, effective collaboration. I don't know whether I'm on the right path.
Yeah,
but
you are.
Yeah, okay. Effective collaboration is very, very important and crucial when it comes to partners playing this major role.
Yeah.
So the identification of your partners, the role that they have to play, very important and critical. And when I look at the union, you see, the union have brought a lot of things on the table.
Yeah.
Because some of them will even argue, some workers argue that they don't have condition of service.
Okay.
Which when I hear it, it sounds very strange. Yes.
For the number of years they've been
If you are
existing.
working, you say you don't have condition of service. Then the union is able to bring to the fore what is condition of service. And you see, all this organized labor, they talk about condition of service. We have terms and conditions of service. Your terms portray you, who you are, what the employer needs, and those things. The condition of service is what will be given to you,
Yeah.
how you work.
How you work.
Yes, and hours of work. And these are very important and critical when we want to measure the decent work agenda.
Very well.
So yes, so decent.
Which is under the ILO.
The ILO, yes. So the union, and it mostly the union that actually brings some of these things out. Yes, because it affects their members. If those things are not there, you cannot even calculate what is end of service or end of service benefit. You can't even calculate hours of work, the amount that must go for hours of work, because the rate must be able to tally to the hours of work. So you use the rate to.
A lot goes into it.
Yeah, a lot goes into it. I quite remember a union was fighting for the compensation for workers.
Yeah.
And the employer is saying that I don't employ, I don't work on I don't work on the 7th day, but I work on 6 days.
Okay.
Yes. And the union was finding it very difficult to make these people understand what they actually meant. But when you take the law is talking about, the law is silent on the 6 days.
Okay.
But he has been able to provide, I think, the 7th day.
Okay.
I will look at it later.
Is it these 40 hours?
Yeah, not the 40 hours. So when it came to the computation of the salary, you know, when you look at it, the factor should be 30 point something to calculate the times the rate.
Yeah.
When we did it, I supervised the whole thing. And the employer said, oh, we are going for the consultant. I said, oh, it's on paper.
Yeah.
So the consultant can examine everything.
Very well.
You know, it's the masterpiece. So they came and told me that thing that I wrote, they've kept it in their portmanteau. Yes.
Yeah, one
Later,
day
the
they-
employer
they-
came and started begging that, okay, we know, but let's
see how
do
we can go
it beat by beat. You see,
according, yeah.
that is their collaboration, and that's understanding.
That's what is needed. Thank you very much. I can see you are so much passionate about the whole issue. And I would want to put on record that one of the important establishments that the Act 2003 brought, that is the Act 651, was the establishment of a National Labour Commission. Yes. So this brings us to the end of today's edition of Walatu Walasa on Clock TV. Thank you for staying with us. We have learned a lot today about how our labor unions have grown and the role they have continued to play in our country. A big thank you to our guests and viewers as well. As we end today's episode, let me leave you with a labor quote. In the hands of the worker lies the strength of the nation. We will be back next week with another important topic. Until then, take care and keep the conversation ongoing. I am your host, Edmond Akwe. Thank you for being on Walatu Walasa.
Walatu, Walasa.